Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX, and welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your third DC Stargirl episode review. Hope all of you is doing okay during these very trying times. I hope everyone's doing well, but basically there's a lot to say, but anywho, this week I'm sorry. It's been actually a while since I did a What's on the Tube because my recording schedule has been out of whack because of everything going on. In my personal life, in the world, and everything else. So I think the last time I recorded a What's on the Tube was nearly a week ago, which is crazy. Like, the last one I posted, the Katie Clean one, I think I recorded that last Friday. So I literally haven't recorded this in like a week. So I apologize if I'm a little bit stale or anything, because I don't really have the liquidability or the flexibility to be able to like keep doing this on a more daily occasion. I mean, I was going to originally, but anyway, this week we're talking about episode 3, DC Stargirl. Overall impressions, I really was surprised by a choice they made, and very quickly how things changed from the beginning portion to we're now approaching the meatier, the middle portion of the show. So we're kind of out of the baby steps are off. We're getting to the actual story of the season, and this was definitely a really good middle chapter, so to speak. It was definitely setting up more elements of Stargirl. So first episode was obviously introducing us to Earth 2, or the world of Stargirl, and setting up the whole lore of the show. Episode 2 was about, okay, this is what the characters now know. How do they move forward from it? And this is definitely another one of those like building block episodes where it's like this is not really like major. Well, I guess what happened in the episode was kind of major, but the point I'm trying to make is that it's in terms of like having major developments. It definitely felt more like we're setting up more pieces for a later down the line, for hopefully when we do get to the more closer end of season 1. So and I appreciate that this was not as meaty, in my opinion, as the beginning, but definitely we are getting this was more of a bigger chunk of the piece of the story than I'll give them credit for. And again, kudos to the writers for actually really this isn't what I was expecting Stargirl to go, considering the fact it is light, it is bright, it is, I don't have any other words that rhyme with those two, so another third thing that lines with light and bright. I lost the focus of this, but yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. I was impressed by the choices they made, and how certain directions will pull the characters into new interesting directions. And I think it's safe to say let's get to this. Let's talk about the actual episode itself before I start dragging through the weeds and going in circles. Also, I'm sorry if I'm off-centered. I really need a new tripod. I need a new camcorder. I need a lot of new things, but with everything going on, I don't feel quite safe to order anything yet. So, pardon my very weird angling. But anyway, let's get down to it. So we begin this episode. How do we begin these episodes? Because I know it just seemed like I just finished watching the episode because I had the pull still from the show. But I actually ate dinner before this review, because I finished the episode. I was going to do the review afterwards, but then I got called out to dinner. So I'm trying to remember how the hell did we begin this episode. Oh yeah, I remember. So we began 8 years ago in a house very akin, similarly to Guardians of the Galaxy, if you have watched that movie, where we're getting this young kid seeing his dying mother, but however, instead of focusing on the kid, we focus on the dad, and the mom, who is close to dying, is telling him, try and get rid of the injustice of the world, try and keep the world great for our son, and so to speak, this sort of thing. It kind of felt very villainous. This isn't exactly the type of final words you want to be saying to your loved ones, but you know what, sure. And then when we see the husband go outside, it turns out to be Icicle, the guy we saw at the end of the last episode. So this is Icicle's partly to origin story, I guess, and since this is taking place, I believe, 8 years ago, which, timetable-wise, when did it work out? I completely forgot what was the time jump between episode 1's beginning to that, but I think this took place in between, I believe. So we see Icicle. then we cut to present day, and Courtney's kind of happy that, she's got the Stargirl outfit now. She's officially kind of like a superhero, and, everything seems to be going. It seems things are starting to, like, finally come aligned for Courtney now that she's more, like, set on what she has to do. We cut to downstairs where Pat. Still weird to say Pat's name. It's like Patrick, but it's Pat. Okay, well, whatever. Pat's having a little fun bickering with his son about food, about, how family dinner time is sacred and such like that, and all that sort. But once Pat's son leaves, I think is it Mike. I believe is his name Mike. I don't remember the son's name. I really don't know. Again, I apologize. Like, if you don't know, it takes me a while for the names to kind of set in my mind. So I apologize if I don't know everyone's names. Pat's son, Courtney's stepbrother. So he leaves the room, and then Courtney and Pat talk about superhero business. Courtney's still dead set. Like, we gotta find the rest of the Injustice Society. There's still, I think, 4 left. I forgot what was their final member count. There's still more out there. And obviously she wants to do some research, like, if Brainwave was in Blue Valley, maybe the others are still in Blue Valley, so we should use this as an opportunity to go get them. But Pat's like, no, Brainwave was a fluke victory, but finding the other Injustice Society is going to be a little bit more difficult. Plus, they might not even be in town, so we might be stressing out over nothing at the end of the day. And but Pat's fine. But Courtney's still playing the very much of the new teenager superhero persona. Like, she has these powers. She's got the costume. She's now an established hero. Like, obviously, she wants to spend all her time doing her mission, being the hero. But Pat's like, no, you got to be a teenager. You got to go to high school. You got to do normal teenage stuff. For 2 reasons. One, obviously, secret identity. If people start noticing, oh, there's a new hero in time, and Courtney's ironically not around, like, they're going to do the connection. Plus, Courtney still needs to go to school. She still needs to go to high school. She has those responsibilities to do. So Courtney's obviously a bit bummed out by that. Pat says that he's going to go do some reconnaissance on Brainwave, see if there's any status update, any change in his condition from the coma Courtney put him in last week. And so we cut to the hospital. We see Brainwave still in the coma. His son's also there, but it seems that he still has faint whispers of his power as he's able to, like, move something next to his son. So it's indicating that there's still a little grasp of power within him. And then we weirdly go to we weirdly go to this weird neighborhood where we see this kid who's aspiring to be a magician, demoing a card trick to his father, who's also a magician. And it's a nice, sweet family bonding moment. Nothing of the sort. Nothing's wrong. It was kind of a weird scene, base level. But once you start to see more of it, then you start understanding it more. So we then cut to the school. And Courtney, obviously with last week's episode taking place the fight scene took place in the school, the remnants of their battle is still very much present. Everyone's confused. What the hell happened to the signposts? What happened last night? And it's weird enough that Blue Valley in 2020 does not have any surveillance cameras. So, kind of weird, but you know what, never mind. I'm not going to harp on it. Speaking of harping too much, it was a bit weird how they panned the janitor, like, very closely. Like, we got, like, a little bit too of a longer shot with the janitor. So, but if I know TV 101, pay attention to this janitor. I think this janitor is going to pop up soon. Or, who knows? Could he be a Justice Society member? Could he be an Injustice Society member? Who knows? So yeah, Courtney goes inside. She's still the new girl, still very much not finding her place yet. And while she's getting her stuff in the locker, she gets visited by the magician kid we saw earlier, who is demoing one of the tricks that a magician uses. However, and then he also attracts a crowd. When Courtney was playing along with his trick, she realizes that he's not really a good magician because he couldn't correctly pick out the right card. But since Courtney's a nice person and she doesn't want to damage his feelings, she lies and said, "Oh, it was my card." And the only person who knew was this guy that was weirdly in the background. Another weird, like they're like really like camera focusing these characters. Like, of course they're going to be playing bigger pieces down the line, but I appreciate that. But also it's a little kind of weird. But then as Courtney's walking towards her next class, she passes by one of the loners' lockers, the one who keeps being called a slut, as someone wrote "slut" on her locker. Courtney tries to help her, but the other girl's not really down for that. So I think her name's Yolanda, I believe. I don't know why that's sticking in my head, but if it's Yolanda, I'll be right. But if I'm not right, I apologize. But anyway, Courtney's not doing so well. She's still not doing well in that circle. Pat goes to visit Brainwave, tried to make him an excuse on why he's there, but he is indicating that something's wrong. Also, I forgot to mention is that when Brainwave's son was there earlier, there was a man outside the see-through window. It turned out to be Icicle, so he was paying a visit to him. So after Pat goes to go check out Brainwave, we cut back to the magician's house. It's weird to say, and Icicle's there, and he's meeting the dad. Turns out the dad, I don't believe he is an Injustice Society member. I think he's the successor to one of their members, I believe, because it seemed like the way they were quoting, like, oh, your master would have done something much better. So I think he's not the real member, but he is the successor, so technically he is part of it by... I don't really know. I really don't know. But Isaac was kind of like telling him about Stargirl, about Brainwave being out of the count, that they got to take care of this, issue before it becomes worse. Yada, yada, yada. So Isaac decides they decide to go out and, take down Stargirl. And I don't know if it's the same day or later on. I know Pat gets while he's working on the strike suit, he gets a call from his son's school indicating he's not doing so well in his class. I don't remember what the reason was, but he's in trouble. So Pat, as a punishment, decides to make him do a paper route. Okay, sure. I mean, it's a small town, so I'm assuming paper routes are still a thing. I really don't know. I don't live a small town. I live in the city. So I think for them, we do cut back to the school, and Courtney is walking around, and she is about to pass by the Yolanda's locker again, and the slide has actually been painted out by some colorful drawings, and the cheerleaders are once again talking smack about her, and Courtney tries to stand up for her, but I don't understand what the whole I'm popular, you're not popular stick. I never understood that. I really don't know. It's a weird thing to still see, even in 2020. But anyway, even Courtney's, trying to defend Yolanda didn't work. Yolanda said, listen, you're just making things worse between you and me, so please just leave me alone. That sort of thing. And then in her algebra class, she spots, ironically, the kid in front of her is drawing very similar stuff to what the locker drawings were. So Courtney kind of puts two and two together, so they introduce themselves. And while Courtney's walking home from school, she comes across the park and she sees a star-shaped mark in the ground made of ice. So Icicle is making it clear that he's after her. So conveniently, Courtney gets... Well, also we got to see where Icicle turns out to be the leader, the owner of the company that Courtney's mom is working at as well. And it seemed like conveniently enough the camera, like the way everything's positioned, that Courtney's mom kind of has like a very, has a very focusable center. Like you can clearly see her out of the bunch. And I'm like, oh, please don't draw attention on her. Please don't draw attention on her. And it's like, no, there was attention drawn on her. So I'm like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Then she talked about how since the company wants to remodel the local theater into another retail store, she tries to argue that, hey, I know that theater hasn't been profitable in like years, but it's still a cornerstone of the community. Taking that away would be a crime. Basically, already putting her on the radar of Icicle, so not a very good view, so to speak. And we come back to the house. Courtney lets Pat know that Icicle's out there. He knows about her, and now this is the time for them to strike. Pat's playing his game like, listen, this is the guy who killed Starman. If a veteran couldn't defeat Icicle, what any chance does like an amateur novice have anything to do with him? So, but however, Courtney manages to convince Pat that, hey, listen, this is the right call. This is what we should do. So they head out to the park. They do not find the symbol anymore. It probably melted. However, Pat gets attacked by a ice blast, so his robot is frozen. Courtney goes around to try and find Icicle, but her staff's hit by the ice, making it unusable for a while. Icicle's about to kill Courtney, and then Stripe manages to finally successfully do a real rocket punch at him, knocking him by to the nearby bridge across the way. And while Pat and Stargirl kind of lament about their brief victory against them, or not really victory, more like the good shot they got on him. It turns out that there was actually a school bus coming the way, and I forgot to mention this, was that they mentioned this in the episode, was that there was this talent contest, this something of that sort. Happening at the school, so I guess all these kids were from the show, and the bus driver's giving them a ride back to their houses. So Icicle, seeing the bus, decides to do a villainous thing and raise the bridge, and it's not a very peaceful scene. So because the bus swerves around, does the typical, like, half of the bus is now tilting towards the river. Stargirl, since her staff's still frozen, she can't fly to her yet. Plus, I don't know if she even knows how to save the bus at this point in her training. Pat and the robots who manages to get free enough to go out and save the bus. Stargirl using her staff to create like a light beam so that no one knows that it's a robot saving them. Pat manages to save the kids, and the bus manages to. At the moment, it seemed like, okay, it's done. They saved the day. They saved the kids. But for some reason, they don't do the typical like TV thing where it's like, we saved the day, cut the black commercial. And it's like, no, it's still going. I'm like, wait, it's not done yet? I mean, they should have been done already. So it seemed like everything's fine. Pat regroups with Courtney. They gotta go. This was a mistake for them to come out here. And then Icicle, seeing another truck come away, decides to blow a gust of icy wind to, sadly, the magician kid's cards, which I don't know why he was holding them when he literally just nearly died, and the first thing you want to do is count your cards. Okay, sure. I mean, it could have been a way of like him, trying to contain his, levels of fear and such. But anyway, the ice wind blows out one of the cards. He goes to after it, and the truck, since it's an ice road and there's no real good traction for this, he hits the kid. And he dies. Courtney and Pat watch it from a distance, realizing that they had failed to save the kid. And we cut back to the next scene, which I don't know who had the reaction for. I think it was so we cut back to the house of the kid, and the mom is like calling him out, where is he? Like, the show was over hours ago. Like, give me a call if you find him. The dad comes in and tells her the news that he died, and well, this should be a grieving moment for two parents. The father goes upstairs to a secret safe and retrieves a magic wand and proceeds to run outside. Back at the body shop, Courtney is in a mess. She's in distraught. She's like so sad and filled with remorse that she had let this kid. This fellow peer who was honestly, I think, the first friendly person she had in her school. And now he's gone, and she had a chance to save him, but she couldn't, given the circumstances, and obviously they didn't know this was going to happen. So, even though that, yes, as viewers, we just got introduced to this character, and this is very much of a bummer. This does suck for the kid, but at least for Courtney, like, even though like it just shows her character that she's a friendly person and she cares about people that would actually care about her, and the fact that he had to go and that she couldn't do anything about it hit her hard, and she was trying to make a promise that now I'm going to get an icicle. We're going to get an icicle, and Pat stops her, tells her that he's going to show her something. So he gets back in the suit and takes her to the old Justice Society mansion, where he shows her the table and the monuments to these heroes. And also side note, what is it with DC superheroes and their tables? I know it's like a very powerful image in the comics, but like, so the Justice Society and the Justice League have tables. Okay. So then after that, so Pat's trying to explain to her that this is the home of the Justice Society, that, he's basically trying to explain to her that all of these people were the best the world had to offer at the time, and they couldn't stop the Justice Society. They couldn't. So I think he's just trying to scare her. Hey, what happened today was unfortunate. We are going to save everyone, but this does showcase that we're out of our leagues here. Like, we were not meant to take down the Injustice Society. Like, a former psychic and a newbie hero cannot take down a team that a team of veteran heroes was unable to take down. And we also see cool shots of like all the Justice Society members. We see Dr. Midnight, Wildcat, the Flash, the Jay Garrick version, Owl, no, Owlman? I think that's Dr. Hourglass. And a couple of other characters that I forgot. And of course, Starman. And Courtney has this epiphany like, well, why don't we get a new Justice Society? Because, of course, Pat says, well, there can never be another Justice Society in America. But it's like, yeah, but there was never supposed to be another Starman, and here comes Stargirl. So wouldn't it, like, make sense for them to at least find new successors to the role? But Pat's not down for the idea. He tells him, no, it's a bad idea. This we can't do this. And, Courtney has that lingering thought that she should do this, but, Pat tells him, no, we gotta go. Let's go home. This is done. So they head back home. Courtney's mom also hears about the news about the kid's death, and she decides to pour more of her time to the workplace. I think just to console her grieving or something. They didn't really give an explanation for that. And then also, so we cut to the family dinner that night where it's like, yeah, the mom's gonna start staying home, start staying late at work. So will that be a recurring thing? I don't know. But it's not really like a really uplifting note at the moment for the show. And also, before I forget, there was a scene where the father goes to the Icicle's mansion and confronts him. But however, Icicle doesn't deny what he did, but he also freezes him to death. So Icicle, not really a good guy. Not really a good guy. Also, aren't we down like 2 Justice Society members now? So 2 down, 4 to go. Take the win. And also, we find out that the kid that Courtney befriended earlier, who did the drawing, turns out to be Icicle's father. So more connections in the weave of the show. And then the last scene shows Courtney holding the card that she lied about. She lied about that she had to the magician kid, and Courtney decided to go behind Pat's back, ransacks the Justice Society mansion, takes everything from the displays, and decides to she's going to find the next successors. She's going to find the next Justice Society, and that's where we end the episode. So again, this was a really solid episode. I think they did a really good job again, world building, establishing new things to this world, and obviously raising the stakes up by usually like kids and women are usually like 2 things villains tend to avoid, but now that a young teenager was killed by Icicle's hands, it kind of showcases that anything's on the table by this point. Anything's on the table, and where does he go from here for his next plan? I can't really tell you. I don't know what's up in his mind. I did like the way they put more depth into Courtney. They gave her another element to her character that no matter how big or small, she is a caring person, and she's going to have this emotional resonance with the people who do care about her. Even Pat, I assume. I did like the way they once again gave enough of the Justice Society, giving enough of these legacy characters, but not like doing the typical TV shit. Like, we're pulling away a little bit. Like, you're not getting the full thing, but there you go. Also, I don't think I forgot. I saw the Green Lantern ring, so I'm about to tell. Well, the lantern. I'm going to tell George all about that after this review's done. I think that's about it. I mean, am I forgetting anything? No. Again, really solid follow-up to the I call it a 2-parter of the beginning of the show. This is so far continuing in a really good direction, and I can't wait to see where the next ones go into as now we go into the recruitment arc of the show, where we're going to probably get the new members of the Justice Society. We already got the promo for one next week. Hopefully that'll be a fun one. And I think that's it. Overall, 2 thumbs up in my book. Really solid episode. I can't wait for next week. And I think that's going to do it for me. So if you were unaware, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we do overall, What's on the Tube, we do. That's the tricky part. We're currently on break on our other time slot. So right now we're just doing one-offs. Next up, High School Musical 2 TV movie review and Swamp Thing series review. On our other 2 slots, we're going to announce our new shows for those slots. Coming soon. We were supposed to announce it earlier, but with everything going on in the world, I opted to hold out on the update for now, and also refilm it since certain things happen. But however, if you only care about Stargirl, then we have brand new episodes of DC Stargirl every Friday after a brand new episode on Monday on DC Universe, the streaming service, and every Tuesday night on the CW. So you have 4 to 5 days to watch it and then come here, see what my thoughts are, and then we go from there. And also, what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always there for conversation. I always respond, except when I'm sleeping. Other than that, I'm pretty good for comments. But however, if you're unaware, this was what's in the tube from ActionX. If you want to see more what's in the tube from us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Please like, favorite, share this video if you want to. But it does help us out in the long run. Ring the bell for notification when we have a new review live, and follow us on social media to keep up to date on our stuff. And I'll see you Stargazers next week. Peace out. I'm sorry for that corny. I'm done. Peace out, guys. Stay safe.